Macros, Mindset, and Muscles.
I'm Coach James.
And I'm Coach Brittany.
We're here to give you the truth about health and fitness.
No gimmicks, no bullshit, just facts. Good morning, Phoenix fam.
Morning.
Another great day for another great podcast episode.
It's a beautiful raining morning.
Yeah, it's a little cloudy, stormy, not much of anything going on. It's actually a perfect day for like a
podcast.
I was going to say cozy up on the couch and watch movies.
That's my vote.
Type of day, but we'll go with podcast because we're here podcasting. Today, we are talking about social media. The good, the bad, and the ugly of social media. Social media is a huge part of our daily lives and most of the population's daily lives. So I feel like this is an important topic. It's something that needs to be talked about. And, you know, there's pros and cons.
Yeah.
And we're going to dive into all that. So we're going to get started and we're going to talk about the good first. We personally, like when we started our social media accounts, our profiles that we have now, there was a purpose behind them. And that purpose was mainly like accountability in our journeys, right?
Yeah.
And that's why you started yours.
Yes.
You want to talk about it a little bit?
Yeah. I mean, when I didn't really have any friends at the time that were into fitness or working out or anything. And I used it as a tool to kind of network or just to kind of look for motivation or just track my progress. And like I said, I didn't have any followers or anything. I just kind of just threw stuff out there, and it was like a way of keeping myself accountable too. And so yeah, that's just how it started. I just posted one little after my 30 days of progress, and I was like, boom, let's see what happens.
It's almost like a journal in a way. Like if you look at it like that, like it can be like for accountability, instead of like writing in your journal, like you post in social media. Like social media is like this version, is like the new version of journals and diaries, except like
you're sharing it with everyone.
You're sharing it with everyone.
So like be a private thing.
Yeah, like you're talking about your thoughts and your feelings and maybe something difficult that you experience, and people are being open about these things and real, which has its pros and cons. You find people that are relatable, like, wow, they went through that too. Like, I don't feel so bad about myself now. Or, it's cool to know that, I'm not alone in my struggles or in this terrible experience. Like there's people, like my people like are out there, like my tribe of people that understand.
Definitely cool finding other people doing similar things. And, in the same stage, so of course there's going to be people on social media that have been doing things for 10 years, 5 years, 2 years. But, I was 30 days in. So I was looking for people that just started like me and don't really know what we were doing. But we're doing it. We're trying it.
But you also followed other people that weren't brand new either.
Well, I mean, as it went on, I started following some local people, Brittany, and just kind of testing the waters, see what everybody was doing, see what tips and stuff I could pick up, and I definitely drew inspiration from people and watching Brittany. She would post very early in the morning, and I was like, oh, so that's what she does. I was like, I could do that. I'm gonna get up early too. So I just started getting up early, and then I would just catch it as she was posting, and it was cool.
And
so if you wonder why I never sleep in anymore, it's because a long time ago I found Brittany on social media, and she was getting up early, and then I had to get up early too, and I've never slept in since.
And now you don't let me sleep in either. So on top of accountability, like leading into that, right? People, right? I feel like that's a really good thing about social media is like people. Honestly, obviously, my husband I met from social media. Of course, it wasn't like a romantic thing or anything for the longest time. But, it led to where we are now. I have zero regrets about that. Like, he's my best friend, and
I
if
grew on
it
there.
if it weren't for social media, then that relationship would have never happened. Um, Pretty much all of my closest friends, save the two, my military best friend Sandra and then my childhood best friend Amy, like pretty much everybody else that I'm close with, I met because of social media. Coach Jessie literally watched my TikToks a few times and then she was like, I want to work with this person.
Yeah.
And, she was a TikTok stranger. We had never interacted until the day that we had a phone call to talk about coaching. And then, we started working together. It was strictly, client professional. Of course, I'm always there for my clients, but it blossomed into this beautiful friendship. I mean, she and her husband, even, they just spent a week with us and we just cohabitated
Yeah.
together during the week. Like, it's not even a weird thing. And so many of my clients, I feel that way about too, like, I would not feel weird about meeting these people in person or inviting them to my house or anything like that. The relationship has been established.
Yeah. I don't think I've really ever found my people until I got on social media because there were people that I knew and they were through circumstances. So either I knew them and we were friends, either through school or, you worked with them or whatever, some part of your life. But like when you get on social media, like you can find people that are going through a lot of the same similar things, same goals, same this, same, and I don't know, it was different. I don't know, finding somebody that has a lot of their life goals are all similar. So that's where I just found my tribe.
Yeah, you surround yourself with people, like, if you surround yourself with people that you wanna be like or, that are also striving to be better, I feel like it's just a better, like, level friendship,
Yeah.
like, you're on the same, like, level, like, you have the same mindset, your goals might be slightly different, but you are working towards your goals regardless, like, you're not letting anything hold you back.
Another thing is that, as I got started on this and I got more deeper into it, and I mean, I have two speeds. I'm either on the gas or on the brake. So when I want to do something, like I'm doing it 100%. And for me to do it 100%, like the people that were in my life or I was surrounded by, they were not. So we did not have that in common. And so I just separated myself from them. Some of them weren't like nothing was terrible, but I couldn't do the things that they were doing, and they didn't want to do the things that I was doing, and so we grew apart. And next thing you know, I was kind of alone, but found my people's.
I mean, we have, like, our little 4:45 crew,
Yeah,
our 4:45 AM crew, we work out together multiple times a week, and, both of those ladies, Jennifer and Kathy, they were both internet strangers at one point too. Kathy and I met because of Facebook and a local mom group, and, Jennifer and I met, like, she was a stranger living in New Orleans, and, she became a client, and now she lives around the corner from me. Like, it just literally worked out that way. And, I mean, we were watching bodybuilding and having dinner together last weekend. So it's just, I feel like that's such a beautiful thing about social media is you don't like, of course, like there's negatives. We'll get into that, but you don't know, like people come into your life for a reason. And usually that reason is like either you're going to change their life or they're going to change yours or a
yeah,
combination of both. And I'm a firm believer in that because like the people that have been brought into my life have they have changed my life. Like they've made me a better person. They've given me something to be passionate about. They've given me like the opportunity to work on myself and not feel guilty because I don't answer every text message. I am the worst when it comes to text messages. Like I will respond to it in my head and then like 6 weeks later, I'll probably actually respond and be like, "Oh my gosh, I
y'all
just
don't take
saw
it
this."
personally. She does the same thing to me. I'm like, you never responded. And you're like, oh, I did, but in my head. So, hey, well, I didn't read it in your head. So,
So, like there's a lot of good on social media and the sharing your journey. Like if you're starting this journey and you want to be a little bit more accountable to yourself, maybe you don't have a coach or something, posting about it and speaking it out loud is a great accountability tool, because then you're accountable to, all of your friends on social media. You don't have to share it publicly with the whole world,
No,
but if you share it, even if you have a private page, just posting it and, only allowing certain people to see it, like that's a support system for you.
yeah,
There's a ton of like groups and stuff on Facebook too, that you can join and be a part of and get community and
macros, mindset, and muscles
yeah,
for
for
women.
women, and you can get awesome like support there from women, or men, like for the men groups that are like-minded, that
Yeah,
want to work on themselves, that are in this journey and they're in the thick of it with you.
there's a lot of information out there.
Which leads into that, like information,
Yeah,
there's so much information. It's not like the old days where you had to like go and get the Britannica encyclopedias. You remember that? Like those days, like when you wanted to know something, like you had to like really dig in and like
like,
go to the books, and you had to have like an up to date, encyclopedia
if
type
if
thing.
you wanted to do something right now, I mean, you had to go find somebody that has done this, that's already done all the research, and the expert. And there's very few of them, back then. Just like, I mean, even just driving somewhere, like you couldn't just pull up GPS and everything, like
Oh, you gonna print that out on MapQuest like
shoot.
back in the early social
I
media
remember
days. But even before that, good old folded maps.
a
And you had to
map
have
book.
one for different states and different areas. And you had to know like the distance, like, you know what I mean? Like
Oh yeah, I'm
the
old.
lines were X amount of miles.
I remember working on the ambulance and searching for addresses with a map book. Like, I mean, we didn't have GPS. And then when GPS came out, like you couldn't trust it. It's like take a left, and it's like a field. Like the roads didn't match up to it. Like anyway,
So
yes,
yeah,
there's a
there's a
lot of
lot of
information
information.
out there. Yeah, yeah, there's a whole lot of information out there. So yeah, but there really is like
Workout routines, recipes. I mean, there's
nutritional
so
guide.
much information. There's a lot of good information and there's a lot of bad. We'll get into that in a little bit. But, there are some legit people out there sharing solid information that can help you in your journey. I mean, this podcast,
Yeah,
is another form of information. YouTube, even TikTok, Instagram, reels, posts, written posts. Like there's so much.
YouTube was a big tool for me in the early days, and I would get on there, and I mean, I would find the top people, kind of in the industry, the big names, especially on YouTube, and I would watch all their things, and then they would have different methodology, different theories on training and stuff, and I would take that and I would go to the gym and I would try to apply it, and I would see how it worked out for me. Some of them worked out pretty well, some of them I hated. Um, but like you said, there's so much information out there. Like it helped me, gave me some direction when I didn't know anything.
I agree with that. I mean, I wasn't big on YouTube, but like just scrolling, finding inspiration and stuff to look up to like on social media.
Yeah, I didn't have social media at that time. This is before like I created.
Yeah.
So I created my Instagram just for fitness. If anybody wanted to know, like I didn't have Instagram. I wasn't on Facebook. I didn't even know about TikTok. I don't even know if TikTok was the thing then.
I think it was like
Just started.
Musically or something like that because
Yeah.
it's had a couple names before it was TikTok.
Yeah.
So that's kind of going to wrap up the good section. We're going to hop on into the bad now before we get to the ugly. The bad, we're going to start with what's hot: misinformation.
Dun, dun, dun.
As coaches, like something that drives me crazy is the misinformation out there. Of course, like research is always changing and, you have to stay up to date with that. But this is just like harmful shit. You have fad diets and like extreme measures being preached on social media, or, girls with BBLs selling you their booty program.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of just
Well,
deceit and misinformation. And we'll get more into that in the ugly as well.
yeah, I'm not sure like what to mention on bad versus ugly because
Yeah.
they kind of go hand in hand with me. But
Like the spread of, like harmful advice and, things, something as simple as like, don't eat carbs. Carbs are bad for you.
well, and I think part of it is also you have people that just want to be a social media influencer, but they don't have the knowledge, and so they just maybe not the in depth knowledge that to portray like an expert in the field. They're just kind of going by what maybe they kind of heard or
Well,
whatever.
yeah, and then their shit gets validated because so many people will like it and
Right.
comment on it. Then they're viral and then they have 1 million followers and really they don't know shit, but their shit got validated by some people who believed the bullshit that they were spewing at one point.
Yeah.
And
Or they got gained a following. They're spitting misinformation, but at the same time, in the same video, it's a thirst trap. So they gain a lot of followers, and then things get pushed out to more people, and it just snowballs into a big old pile of
true.
poopy.
So from misinformation, another thing that's kind of the bad part of social media is the comparison, like the comparison culture. You find yourself comparing yourself to others and you'll start feeling inadequate or discouraged. And it's not an uncommon thing. Like you feel pressure to keep up with these, influencers and others, but you don't know their story. Like
Yeah.
you don't know what chapter of their story they're walking in on, and you don't know like if what they're posting is real, if it's raw, if they, had a photo shoot with, you know, 20 different outfits and they're just using those same pictures through the year and they're not posting like their off season body. There's a whole bunch of stuff that goes into comparison culture.
With social media, before that, the only time you would see these very elite and conditioned, genetically gifted competitor bodybuilder type people were at bodybuilding shows
Or in magazines.
or in the bodybuilding magazines. So now with social media, like you're going to see they're all just compiled into this one little spot all over the world, the most elite, the most genetically gifted, the most in, you know, all these things, looking at their best at their very prime from all over which is a very small percentage of the population, very small. And so you get this misconception that everybody out there looks this good and I don't look that good, and
or that's healthy too.
or that's
like
the norm and I'm way beneath them. Or that's what health looks like, which is the exact opposite. Bodybuilding is very unhealthy.
I think a lot of people will see models and they're like looking at people, like even in like magazines and stuff like that, right? Like back in the day, like you look at these, models or actors or famous people in magazines, back in the like 17 magazine
Yeah.
and like Men's Health and Fitness and stuff like that. You see these people and you idolize them and you're like, oh, I want to look like that, but really you don't know the suffering that they're going through to maintain that physique for that career or the extremes that they're putting their body through. And disordered eating and eating disorders are like prevalent in that type of industry and even in bodybuilding. Like there is a lot of disordered eating and there are people that really shouldn't be competing because they have eating disorders, but they still do it.
Yeah.
And it just exasperates it. Like, models and, bodybuilders are not like the epitome of health.
Right. And you look at these physiques and you think, oh, if I looked like that, I would be happy. I'd be so happy to look like that. But when I found for myself is when I look my best, I feel my worst.
Absolutely.
Physically, mentally, emotionally, at my lowest and feel the worst. And my performance is lowest. I'm not the nicest. My personality disappears.
Brain function is
brain
like
function is gone.
non-existent.
Everything suffers to look that certain way. The other side of that coin is when I'm feeling my best and I am my strongest and I'm all these things, my physique does not look that great. And it's because, my body fat percentages are up. I'm eating a good amount and I have a healthy balance in my life of family time and working out and eating and fun and vacations. So,
Yeah, we actually did a whole episode on the cost of getting lean. And I feel like it was a really good episode because we kind of went into depth talking about this, but there's a lot of sacrifice that goes into, having a ripped physique, unless, of course, like you're genetically gifted. Like there are some outliers.
and
Like it does take hard work, but there are some people that do have genetic advantages. And, for me, I loved my look like on my last show day, almost 2 years ago. But man, I was sick all the time. I was very low energy, very low calorie. I was doing 2 hours of cardio a day, and, like, that's miserable.
it hurts to walk. It hurts to walk barefooted. You lose the padding in your feet when you get that lean.
And your armpits, remember, like, your armpits? Like,
it was a pool.
it's so weird. Like, okay, women, like, we shave our armpits, like, regularly, right? And, like, when you're so lean, like, you can't get the razor in there.
Yeah.
There's, like, no padding.
I had to shave mine for the show too.
to like shave your armpits. And then you're always cold. So like in the
Cold.
like middle of summer, it could be 90 degrees outside and you're going to be cold.
Yeah. 'Cause you don't have the calories to keep you warm. You don't have the body fat anymore. It's it gets ugly.
So, comparison culture is a big thing and for all the wrong reasons. I feel like what we really should be doing is throwing more attention to people that live a truly balanced life, that are like, hey, it's okay to enjoy time with your family. It's okay to not have abs. Like, it's okay to not have a jacked physique. Like, we don't have to put this pressure on society. And I'm not saying that all people that are jacked and lean and muscular, like, do that. I just feel like a lot of people get like idolized for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, really look at the whole picture. Not when you're looking at a picture, look at it in its entirety. Are they young? Are they going through extremes? Like a lot of times people get in shape like that, and they do a lot of videos and photos and stuff, and they'll post it all year long, but they don't stay like that. But anyway, move on.
Another point, well, the last point on the bad section before we move on to ugly is the time consumption. It's a time suck. Social media is one of the biggest time sucks. If you're on TikTok, how many times have you been on TikTok and you're scrolling? And the next thing you know, it's been 4 fucking hours.
I don't know about that, but
yes, you do.
I mean, I was probably doing some other stuff while I was during that 4 hours, but
it is a big time suck. And one of the biggest things that we hear from people is like, I don't have time. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying like everybody's lives are different and everybody's 24 hours look different. Like we all have 24 hours, but what that 24 hours looks like varies from person to person. Some people, work multiple jobs and are single parents and take care of kids, or some people take care of parents even. Like there's a lot that goes into like what a person's life entails. But when it comes to like, I'm too busy, like one of the first things I do like to ask is like, what is your screen time like? Like honestly, what is
send
your
a screenshot of the screen time.
of your screen time report?
And normally, like I don't even have to like say anything after that. They're like, "You're right." Like they didn't. It's hard to say.
And we're not like those. Like I'm not gonna say like I doubt that you're a busy person,
No.
but I think that people underestimate the amount of time that they spend on social media. I know I spend a lot of time on social media.
So do I.
I have a virtual business. We have a virtual business.
We.
I know I corrected myself, motherfucker.
Oh, dropping the F-bomb. She loves me.
So, I spend a lot of time on my phone, on my laptop, and, like my screen time report is pretty high. And sometimes like I have to pull back a little bit, even for myself. Like, okay, I need to set limits. Like I'm only responding during this time and this time. I'm doing this during this time and that time. Like I have to check myself on that because it's so easy to get consumed into social media. It is a virtual freaking suck. Like
Yeah.
it sucks you right in.
Well, not even just with, just watching other videos. Like, say you're watching videos and then you feel inspired, or, we need to create a TikTok or a reel or something. And then you start working on that. Then it really sucks you in for hours because you're looking for the right audio, or for me.
I
But,
was gonna say maybe for you, but I don't feel like everybody spends
I
hours
mean,
making
just
one
like last
video.
night, you all of a sudden you're having trouble with it, and it's not saving with this caption on it or this lettering.
Oh yeah, the lettering kept disappearing.
But you know what I mean? Like, next thing you know, we've been sitting there for 2 hours on it, on waiting for this reel that, it's going to be, what, 13 seconds? So anyway, it creeps up on you. Just be aware.
And if you feel like you don't have time, I challenge you to take an inventory of your time. And what this looks like for me is I'll write down the hours that I'm awake during the day, right? So if I wake up at, 3:45 on Monday, Tuesday, and Friday, then on those days, like, I'd start my day at 3:45. From 3:45 to 4 o'clock, I'm brushing my teeth, I'm washing my face, I'm getting dressed, I'm putting my shoes on, I'm, taking my AM supplements, like I'm doing the things, right? And then from 4 to 4:30, I'm sipping on my coffee. I'm looking at client reports for the day, like who do I need to get in touch with? I'm checking my notifications. If somebody texts me through the night, if you text me at 9 o'clock at night, you get a text back at 4 o'clock in the morning. Like that's just how it is.
Yeah.
So you better have your shit on do not disturb.
Just breaking down your whole day.
But you just break down your day, write down what you're doing from what time to what time, find the gaps in your schedule, and try to make it a productive gap. I'm not saying don't ever spend time on social media, but give yourself a time limit. Set yourself a screen time limit. I'll tell you what, nothing will check you faster than setting a screen time limit for X amount of hours a day. And then
Just
the
get
next,
off.
yeah, the next thing you know, like you're mid morning and it's already off.
Like, damn.
It's a reality check.
Now what do I do? How do I use the bathroom now?
Yeah, because I can't scroll.
You can take one of them 1990s poops.
So, read the labels on the Lysol bottle or the conditioner or whatever you have close enough.
What they used to have in there? Like little word finders, or what was it? Crossword puzzles? Yeah.
Word search.
Yeah, a little magazine rack.
So check your time. All right. Don't get sucked in. Don't spend all your free time, on the internet comparing yourself to others, soaking up bad information. It can be a positive, but you have to use it in the right way. Now moving on to the ugly. And these are some things that are like, I think these are probably really important. Online bullying. No matter what you do, if you are a public poster, if you publicly post, you are going to face negative comments. You will get body shamed and people will troll you. It doesn't matter what you post. You can post the happiest shit in the world. And somebody will have something negative to say.
And this is not even gender specific. I mean, it don't matter if you're a man, woman. It doesn't matter. I mean, whatever you post, there is somebody out there who just wants to say something, and whether I don't know what it is, because like I lack that in me. I couldn't see myself leaving some comments.
I don't ever get on social media and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna leave some hateful ass comments today. I'm always trying to like uplift others and leave a positive comment.
If I don't have anything positive to say, I just move on.
I just keep scrolling, or I like don't want to see any more of this in my feed.
Yeah, but they will really go out of their way to
bring you down
and try to hurt you. There are people who are, trying to either get attention by being funny and thinking that everyone's going to like that their comment was pointing out something about you that they thought was funny. But
I have been told things like most recently, like, oh, why the man voice? I mean, we posted our YouTube, our first video in our YouTube series, the Back to the Stage series. And the first comment we got within 12 hours was talking about my voice being deeper.
Yep.
I have been told things like, when I was in stage shape, and we posted a video where we were working out. Remember, I was wearing that yellow sports bra
Yeah.
and the Wonder Woman shorts.
Oh yeah, I got the
And
video.
a guy was like, "Oh, I bet it's really a mess underneath of those shorts, like from my extra skin."
Yeah.
Or things like, "Damn, she's built like a dude," Like, there's so many people that are saying, like, hating things. Not that the "damn, she's built like a dude" thing irked me, like, I I take that as a compliment.
I mean, and they'll say the most vulgar sexual things,
Yeah.
especially like, I
That
mean, that comment may have even been sexual. Like
Yeah.
he was just talking about like because you're working out and it's hot and you were sweating,
Yeah.
and like there's some just nasty freaks out there. I mean, I'm not gonna play not like there's some creeps, nasty. It never fails when I post something. This would happen a lot, especially on TikTok. I get the worst stuff and most sexual stuff, and it's coming from
Gay men.
gay men. And it's like, and they'll even trick me. They're like, "Hey," they'll send me a message. "Hey, so I want to, I'm looking into getting a coach," and I'm like, "Oh, that's awesome." Like, what are your goals? And they're like, "To have sex with you." And I'm like,
In the locker room
in
or
the locker
something.
room. I'm like, what? Like,
Blocked.
blocked? Like, and I've been told I'm too small. I need to just spend time working out and not feeling it. I'm too little. I'm too small to do bodybuilding. I'm too old for this. Too blah 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 blah. Okay.
I've been told, like, don't ever have kids. Like, I've literally been told that before. Don't ever have kids.
Oh, is this about the dog
Yeah.
video? Yeah. Oh, yeah. We posted a video of our husky got out, and it's the middle of the winter. It was like, what was it, like 8 degrees outside.
It was
Brittany found them. I was driving around the neighborhood too. She found them down at the park. And there's a pond, and it was frozen over. One of the dogs had fell through the middle of it and was stuck, like,
holding on to
holding
the
on
ice.
to the ice. So I rushed there. I'm like 30 seconds away.
Mind you, my husband, tells me, "Don't get in the water. Like, you're valuable. We need you in day-to-day life. I'm coming. I'll be right there."
I made a point, like, do not get in the water. Like, if anybody's expendable, it's this guy. Like, somebody got to take care of these kids, like everything.
I
Like,
don't want to do all that.
I know, but I don't know if they'd make it with just me. But anyway, so yeah, I went out and busted the ice and got the dog out, and it was freezing cold. It sucked, but it worked out. And she filmed a little clip, little small clip of me grabbing the dog in the water and pulling him to the shore.
In the moment right before you got in the water, too.
Yeah, when she found him, she was recording and recorded, and zoomed in, to see the dog, and stitched that with me, a little clip of me grabbing a hold of the dog, and then afterwards, everybody's okay, the dog's okay, we're all getting warm at the house. People were saying, "You don't deserve dogs."
Yeah, like, you're a shitty pet owner. First of all, if you've never owned a fucking husky, I'm sorry. They are escape artists. We have put bricks. They have wireless fence collars. Like, we have done so much to prevent our dogs from getting out.
Air tags.
They get out. They will dig. I mean, they can dig a hole under anything in like no time. And Kira is my older girl. She's 8.
She's a runner.
She's 8. She's a runner. She's the escape artist. Kai is the dirt. He's the derpy little brother, and he's just following his sister. He is going to be 4 next month, so he's the baby of the family, and he just follows Kira.
Yeah,
and my dogs have gotten out several times. I always find them. I'm always out immediately, like looking for my dogs, hunting around the neighborhood. Like, I don't stop.
yeah.
I've gone out searching for my dogs when I was in the thick of COVID, like sick.
Yeah.
And, people will say things no matter how positive the video is or whatever. Like,
and that was like, it was such a cool video, and it had Nickelback to it. Like, it was a great feel good, moment that could have been terrible, and it turned out awesome, and everybody was okay. Just posted it, got a ton, like, it just went viral. It did, it got close to 1 million views, but the hate in the comments that some people were leaving, we took it down. we turned off comments, and then next thing you know, they were sending DMs.
Yep.
They're like, and saying them just straight to you. And so we took it down. And at that point, I realized, like, I don't think I ever want something to really go viral ever again. Because I can't handle it. Like, my personality and my mentality, and I'm not that thick skinned. And because I'm gonna look at the comments and I would take them personally. Like, eventually, maybe one. You know what? Yeah, I'd take it personally.
Well, that's why I took it down. Like I feel like I can be thick-skinned, but there are times when I'm emotional too. Like I love my dogs. I
Well,
mean,
yeah,
anybody that knows me knows I love my dogs. Like they are my baby. Like Kai has literally been my little sidekick since I got that little shit.
yeah, and you're in a situation too where somebody's looking at a small little clip of something that you put on TikTok that you just kind of wanted to share. It doesn't have the backstory, doesn't have anything leading up to it, doesn't have the details, and people are making these assumptions and then casting their, I don't know, conviction onto you, and you're guilty and you're a terrible person, but and you can't defend yourself. These people just they're just unhappy, shitty people.
So, in a nutshell, people will always have something negative to say. You will have silent haters. Some of your biggest haters will probably be people that you know.
Yeah. So I just
Um,
deleted them.
so, be ready for that if you do decide to utilize social media. Keep it private, only accept people that you trust or really know and care about if that's what you want to do. If you do get negative comments in your public, just block them.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to waste your energy responding. You don't have to stoop to their level and respond. Just block. Or just leave it and let it count for the algorithm because even a negative comment still boosts your stuff.
You can if you're afraid that comments are going to bother you,
Yep.
and you really
turn them off.
You can just turn them off. And that's you'll never even be exposed to it. But like that saying, your biggest hater is someone and your biggest fan is a stranger.
Mm-hmm.
That's how kind of how I felt about social media. It's like the people I was around, like in real life, like, oh, you shouldn't be working out so much. You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do this. And like, even though I was passionate about it and I wanted to do it, like I got all this negative. But the people that I was finding on social media were like, "Hey, man, good job. Like,
You're working really hard. I see you."
Yeah, just the little stuff, and like, I don't know, it meant a lot to me.
You'll also get people that want to give you advice that you didn't ask for.
Oh yeah,
If you post fitness stuff, you will get unsolicited advice.
Yeah, so be careful. I mean, if you're not ready for the blowback, like maybe you shouldn't post it. Like if you're worried that somebody's going to come back, because that's the number one thing. Like if you're doing especially a big movement like squats or all this stuff, I mean, people just love to chime in. Everyone's going to tell you that you're doing it wrong, even if you're doing it right.
And here's the thing, right? Most coaches that I know, we will not comment on shit like that. Like when I hate seeing people sharing pictures and videos of other people in the gym doing stuff that maybe is not what you should be doing in the gym. But first of all, like don't ever fucking record somebody or take a picture of them and post it without their permission.
No, I've reported people for that.
Yeah. And then don't be that person either. Like everybody starts somewhere and this is why it's so hard for a lot of brand new people to get going in the gym because they have that fear of being judged for what they're doing.
Yeah.
If you have a coach, like I'm a mama bear. I will.
Oh, I'm coming full force.
Like I will protect my clients, and if somebody is going against what I'm saying and it's fucking toxic, like I'm going to call it out. And I don't like that. And also like you have a coach for a reason. Don't take unsolicited advice from strangers when you have a coach. Like your coach is your coach.
Yeah.
So that kind of sums up the online bullying. Next on the ugly is talking about kind of going into comparison a little bit more, but talking about Photoshop and filters, also. It's a big thing. You see a lot of people with snatched waists and big old plump booties and things like that. And a lot of these are edited, not just in Photoshop, but there's now even AI like tools that you can use to, edit your body. And that's just not realistic. So when you find yourself comparing yourself to somebody else, um, just don't do it because you don't know even if that's like a legit picture, it's a big thing now. And comparing yourself to somebody that edits their photos, like it's just setting you up for failure because that's not even an attainable thing,
No, I've adjusted the exposure down or the brightness down a little bit.
Well, color
But
correcting is different
but
than editing your
I would
body.
never want to like change my body because then when I look at that picture and then I look at myself in the mirror, I'll be like, it's not the same person. It would be this disconnect of, I don't know. Like, I could see how, I don't know, that would be getting into like more like depressive like states. Like losing connection of who I really am. If I'm not big, I'm not big. If I'm big, I'm big. If I'm ripped, I'm ripped. If I'm fat, I'm fat. But just owning and being true to yourself. Like, that's me. This is me,
Yeah. That's pretty much like for Photoshop and filters. I mean, it is what it is. People edit. Even in photography, I'm a photographer and, we do like some editing. I don't change anybody's body sizes. I will remove pimples, like things like that, flyaways. You color correct, but editing a person's body, changing the shape of body is not something that you're, you know, it's very dishonest, especially when you're posting in like a influential type position or you're posting, you're sharing your body and you're trying to like make money with
Yeah.
coaching or whatever. I feel like that's really the big issue is like, hey, here's my XYZ program, these are my results and it's a photoshopped picture,
Right.
like of their body photoshopped.
Mm.
So just don't compare yourself to people, period. I'm not even gonna say try. Just don't do it. Like you are in your own journey. Your journey is different from my journey. It's different from James's journey. It's
And I've done
it's
it.
your own journey.
We're saying not to do it because I did it. Especially when I did my first show, like I was stalking everyone that was not stalking, but I was checking up on all these people that I knew were doing the same show that I was doing, and I was comparing myself to them, and it caused me so much grief and sadness, and like it was just not good. Like it was sad, sad, James. I had to just stop. With this next one, like I don't care to know anybody that's in it. Like I don't even want to know.
Yeah.
I just want to show up and whoever's there, like, cool, let's do this.
So now that we've talked about the good, the bad, and the ugly, so how can you navigate social media in a positive way? Well, first you can curate your feed. So we do this intentionally on like new accounts and stuff. Like you only follow what you want to follow, right? So like on my travel page, I don't watch anything that's fitness related because I don't want anything fitness on that page. If on my fitness page, like I do have all the fitness things
That's how
and
mine is.
all the workout things, but you can curate your page, like what is shown to you. And a lot of that has to do with how you engage with certain videos and posts. If you're liking a lot of the same type of posts, like that's a lot that's going to be in your feed, like
Yeah.
your reel feed, your For You page on TikTok. If something is making you feel negatively or an account makes you feel negatively, like if you start comparing yourself or you have negative feelings every time you see something from this account, unfollow them, block them.
Or you can, what is it, silence?
Yeah, mute them.
To where their things don't just pop up for you anymore. Like it still shows that they're your friend. So like if you personally know that person, but they're posting things that you just don't agree with, or it's triggering you in some kind of way, or you just disagree with it and don't want to see that shit, just
Yep, just mute it.
mute it.
Again, like participate in communities that are positive and are science-based. It's not pseudoscience. It's not bullshit. It's not fads. It's not toxicity. Like, you want real legit shit. So make sure you're engaging with the right type of things that will support you in your journey in the most healthy way possible. Fast is not healthy, 9 times out of 10. So you also want to set boundaries. This is kind of what we were talking about before, like limit your screen time. You want it to like enhance your life, you know, you want it to enhance your journey rather than like
Hinder.
yeah, you don't want it to detract from like what you're trying to do or from your daily life. Like be present in your daily life. And also be you. Be real, be authentic,
I
you
think
know.
I think that's I think it's also one of the hardest things for people to do, or for me. It's just be me.
I have no problem being
I mean,
me.
I'll be me, but like for somebody who doesn't have that much, didn't really grow up with a lot of confidence in me just being genuinely me versus me being who I think others want me to be.
Yeah.
So like that's something that that I'm always still learning is just how to just be me and just fuck it or whatever. Like if I don't know, just be me.
I don't know. I share everything. I share the struggles, you know, I share like, yeah, I kind of suck at reverse dieting. So like I've bombed my reverse the last 2 times coming out of a show. You know, I talk about that stuff. I'm not afraid to talk about the weight that I gained. You know, I talk about when I'm on it. I talk about when I'm off it. Being real and being you, like that's how you meet your people.
Yeah,
Like
I
when
mean,
you're real and you're authentic and you share the truth shit, like the true shit, like you find people that can relate to that. And that's why most of my clients have come to work with me. It's
yeah.
because of my real
I mean,
and raw like
I'll
posting.
I'll be real. I'm not gonna put on this fake facade or anything like that. It's just maybe I just not. I don't know. I don't know. It just doesn't. Maybe it's the lack of practice. Of like making things. Maybe it's just need more practice with it. Build the confidence up in it. I don't know. I'm really good at the coaching part. It's the social media uh, part is where I really struggle, and I'm better at like let's make something funny. Do something funny, like let's do that instead of uh, trying to make a post or a video about whether it's fitness or nutrition or something, and afraid that I'll come off uneducated or uninformed.
So why don't you just take a post and make it funny?
You always got to make shit so easy. Why didn't you tell me that like 4 years ago, bro?
Well, I mean, I'm telling you now, if you're like, well, I like to make stuff like funny posts, well, take a nutrition fact and make it funny.
I'm gonna do that.
Okay. I'll be looking forward to that.
I'll stay tuned.
Send it to me for approval.
It's gonna be approval. Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. Anyway.
Yep. So social media, big part of everybody's life, most people's lives.
Love it, hate it.
Yeah. Love, hate relationship. You know, we spend a lot of time there. You probably do too. It's okay. You know, use it as a journal. Be mindful of the time you spend on it. Don't compare yourself and be real.
Be real.
With that being said, this is going to wrap up this episode. But before we go, shameless plugs. Okay, YouTube series, Back to the Stage series. We'll be posting video number 2 on Monday. We're talking about our journey. We're talking about, the day-to-day boring shit, meals, steps, workouts.
Married life.
Fun little tidbits of information and tips in there.
Talking shit.
Yeah. We also have our coaching, transformwithphoenix.com. You can find that in the show notes. You can find YouTube there also. But we have 3 different options. You can use your HSA, FSA with our coaching services. You can find out if you can qualify on our website. So that's really great. And a new thing that we're able to offer with our partnership with TrueMed. And that's pretty much all I got. You got anything you want to add?
Nope.
Perfect.
I mean, that's it.
All right. Well, it's lunchtime for us. So we are going to get off here and enjoy the rest of our day. We hope y'all enjoyed this episode. We'd love to hear from you. If you enjoyed it, leave us a 5-star rating. And until next time,
she's Brittany.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Macros, Mindset, and Muscles. Until next time,
I'm James.
I'm Brittany. We're out.